In this section, we are going to match the secondary road profile with the main road. So this is our intersection area or junction area. We know that junction is belong to this area, but the secondary road is going into the main road. So we have to make sure that the main road section matches with the secondary road. In other words, secondary road should be in line with the main road in this section. So we are going to do that in such a way that by creating a temporary corridor. So I press escape here. Now I will change these curb return alignment styles so that I'll get more control when I create the corridor. So this time I will add this as intersection basis for the moment. Now it is giving a white color. So I am going to change this as well. Instead of changing the style, I am going to type MA on my command line and press enter to use match properties. I'll select this alignment and go to here and match that one, then it will match the styles. Right, so now I am going to create the temporary corridor. Before that, I am going to create the assembly. So to create the assembly, I go to home tab, assembly, create assembly. So my assembly name is temporary corridor main road, and I'll click OK here. I will click here to add the assembly, and I am going to add the sub assembly for this one, both left side and right side. So I click here and go to lanes tab. From here, go to lanes tab, lane super elevation AOR, and I click here and I close it now and press escape. Now I close the tool palette also. I go to the subassembly and go to subassembly properties. So this is temporary lane RHS, and I click parameters now. So my lane width would be 4 meters as in our assembly, and my default slope I'll change it to as 2.5. For the pavement depths, I'll make them all 0 because this is a temporary assembly. So we are not going to use super elevation at this moment, so I am setting it to none. We will see how to use super elevation in a later section. And slope direction away from crown, potential pivot no. Inside point code, we don't need this at the moment. We'll set both of them to none, outside point code, and I click OK here. So now this is our lane assembly. So we are going to add another assembly to this one so that we create a more accurate temporary corridor. So I'll click this one here, go to copy from here and click here. Now it is copied, and then I go to this copied or the outside assembly, go to subassembly properties. This time this information tab, change the name as extension. This is extension of the lane. So this width I make it 0.5, and all the other parameters will be as it is. If we have super elevation, we will have some other work to do, but we will see it later. So I'll click OK here. Right, now I mirror all these to the left side, because at this moment we don't need this for the main road temporary corridor, but later we will be creating a secondary road temporary corridor. For that one we need both sides. So since we are using this for the other corridor as well, we are creating whole section. So I click here to select these two assemblies, mirror, and I click somewhere below here, it will mirror to the other side. So I go to this assembly, subassembly properties, this is LHS, and click OK, and here for the next one should be LHS. That's all. Right, now we are going to create the temporary corridor. Before that, we need to make sure we have some settings set in our drawing. So I will explain what this setting later. So I go to settings tab here, then I select this, the drawing title, right click, edit drawing settings, then go to object layers, then go to corridor, and here set this to suffix and click have a dash, then asterisk mark, right, then asterisk mark. So if you read this part, you will see what do you mean by this, right? You will see what do you mean by this, right? We'll have a dash, then asterisk mark. I'll click OK. All right, now I am going to the prospector tab, then I go to home tab, corridor here. So this is Civil 3D 2025 version interface. So if you are using Civil 3D 2024 updated versions, you will see similar to this one. But if you are using Civil 3D older versions like 2023 or 22, 21 like that, so you will see some kind of a different interface than this for the corridor, but you can understand where the locations are. You can fill out what I am doing here in your one as well. So my corridor name would be temp corridor. I'll say main road, right? So my assembly is main road, alignment is main road, profile should be main road profile, assembly should be temporary corridor main road. Even though this is main road, we will be using this to the secondary road as well later. So I'll click OK and make sure you are setting baseline parameters and region parameters here. You don't need to change anything from here. Click OK. Now we are going to create our temporary corridor. So in this case, we will be creating the temporary corridor within the junction area only, or within the intersection area only. So for the start station, we will be going to the start of the intersection area, which will be this white line ending location, this curb return line ending location. It should be somewhere here, and for the end it should be somewhere here. So you make sure you have turned on your object snaps, endpoint object snap from here. I am getting the endpoint snap. Right, now we have done our part. Then you have to set your frequency. Make sure you have set your frequency at a very lower level, like 1 meter corridor. That will give you a more accurate surface for the temporary corridor, which will be important when we are creating the curb return alignments. Right, so I'll click OK here. Right, then I'll go to OK again and rebuild the corridor. So you will see you have this temporary corridor here, right? Now we are going to create this temporary corridor surface, or the surface for this temporary corridor. To do that, I select this, go to corridor properties from here, then parameters, surfaces, click here to create a surface. So temporary corridor main road, top would be our name, surface name. I'll click here to add the top codes to our corridor surface. I click to add them as break lines and top links as overhang correction. Finally, I go to boundaries tab, right click and set a corridor extent as our boundary, and click OK and rebuild the corridor. Now you will have a boundary at this edge, or surface at this edge. So if you click here, you will see our temporary corridor main road top surface is created. Now what we do is we will add this corridor surface into this secondary road alignment, so that it shows the main road profile or main road surface along this secondary road. So we can mesh the secondary road to the main road. So to do that, we click the secondary road, go to surface profile, then we are going to add the main road top, temporary corridor main road top to our secondary road, then click OK. Right, so I close here. Now if you go to here, you will see this is your temporary corridor. So this is how your main road look like, but at the moment your secondary road is like this. So we have to make sure we are modifying this profile along this line. So I'll move this profile up until this point, but this is matching at this point, but it should match along this profile. So to do that, what I am going to do is I'll select this one and I'll go to edit geometry, then I will delete this curve at the moment. Before that, we will check its parameters. Curve length is 50. So I'll click here and press escape. I deleted this curve from here and press escape. Now I move this grip from this center grip until the end of this main road corridor surface. Then from this side grip, I will drag it. It will maintain in the right side slope once I drag it. So I'll drag somewhere here and I will set this as 50 meters, right? So if you need, you can add another curve here or add any modifications, but while you are doing any modifications to this one, make sure this side do not change much. That is the important thing. When you are changing this side, make sure your left side do not change much. So you have to make sure that one. Right, now our main road and secondary road match with each other at the connecting location. In the next section, we will see how to create the curb return corridors for these curb return alignments.